Hey, it's Tom Llewellyn, and it's 2 Minutes with Twitter, right? So, what's your fair share, right? Now, I'm not a top 5%er. I'm not a top 10%er. I barely squeak into the top 20. And now that I'm retired, probably somewhere down the line from there, right? My wife is still working. Thank you, dear. I appreciate that. But here's the deal. What's fair? I mean, nobody will tell you what the fair share is. You know, I've asked person over person over person who thinks just got to do more taxes, got to do this, you know, and at the end of the day, it's like, well, I agree. Everybody should pay a fair share, but what is it? And here's the challenge. Nobody knows. It's a slogan, right? It's a slogan to make you feel like, oh, the rich guys are bad guys. Well, most rich guys are actually pretty good guys. There's some bad guys out there. I get that. But here's the deal. You can tax them to death. All they're going to do is move their money. I mean, they'll move it somewhere that's safer, i.e. another country, or into investments that, you know, where the new taxation may not affect them as much. So, you know, when tax increases go up, right, you lose millionaires left and right because they go hide their money, right? When the taxes came down from 70% to 28% under Reagan, millionaires flourished because they allowed their income to be, they wanted the money they had to be showing as income versus like some unrealized gains in stocks or bonds or whatever, right? So they changed their portfolios, right? You can tax the rich to death, but at the end of the day, you know who it hurts? It hurts the poor guy, right? We want rich people investing in America and their companies they own. If they're, you know, if they're small businessmen that own a business, they're doing well at it, we want them to take their money and invest it in their business, right? We want big businesses to take their money and invest it in their business. We talked, you know, one of the biggest surprises of my life, the biggest shocker, was reading a Wall Street article before the tax cut for businesses went from 35%, highest in the world, by the way, to 21%. And the commentary went, well, you know, first of all, businesses don't pay taxes. I know that. Those taxes are really paid by us, the consumer, right? Because they're in the product, right? So it's just a pass along for them. They just pay it and, you know, they're done with it. But when taxes go down, three things happen, according to this article. Those dollars go to stockholders. You know, they may get better share price or some additional dividends. Customers and lower prices, and employees. Well, you know, that one shocked me. I didn't, what's that, right? Well, it turned out that's exactly what happened. And guess which employees got the biggest benefit? The people that got the biggest pay raises in 2019 and I think into 2020 before things blew up with COVID were the guys at the bottom, the forgotten guy. If you're one of those forgotten people, God forbid you're voting for Democrats, because raising taxes on those people is going to hurt you the most. In lost jobs, in lost income, in lower income, and then you're giving the money to a bunch of people in Washington that I got to tell you don't really know what they're doing. They're not investors. They keep saying they're investing. They don't know what they're doing. They're spending. It's different than investing, right? Something fails for them, no big deal. We just spend more, right? So here's the deal. Be careful. You're going to hear a lot about tax cuts. Understand it. And the civil is all about the little guy. If we can help the little guy, that's the biggest challenge. The rest of us can take care of ourselves. Let's help the little guy. When you hear about taxes going up on the rich, you're going to get screwed, okay? You're going to get screwed. There is no fair share until you have a government that's optimally organized to spend effectively, that the performance of the government delivers more than the cost. We're not even close to that. So we're spending money like a bunch of drunken sailors, like John McCain used to say. So, hey, be very careful, you know, right? If you're one of the forgotten people, find your congressman. It's pretty easy. Send him a note and say, hey, don't do this. This is crazy. And don't spend more. Let's figure out how to fix the problems we have now, because we got a bunch of them, and they're not getting fixed. They're just getting ignored in favor of creating new priorities, spending new money on stuff that we won't get much benefit from. Anyway, I'm Tom. Talk to you soon.